Hello, welcome back to From Soft Serve, and yes, today we're in Silent Hill 2, and no, not the remake, which I have been not playing, but I've been watching like 3 different playthroughs of it because I'm absolutely fascinated. Because I have a weird story with Silent Hill 2 in that I am fascinated by it, but I've never played it myself. The only thing I've ever done is I watched Maximilian Dude, shout out, play it like a couple years ago or 3 years ago, the enhanced edition or whatever on a stream, right? And it was such a janky, weird game, and yet I was utterly fascinated by. I mean, I fell in love with the story, right? And it was still something that I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to play that myself though, with like the gameplay style, right? So I might change my mind on that. Maybe I should just play it on stream, the original version and then the remake, because actually the remake makes it a lot more, I think, quality of life friendly. But there's something really special about this original. So we're playing this on PC SX2 emulator. So we're actually emulating the original game. And there's a good reason for that, in that the different ports of Silent Hill, I was watching the DF Retro for it last night. It popped up on my YouTube feed, and they were showing that the different ports, like for Xbox, and then they did like an HD collection for PS3, and then I think 360 had a version too, and it was awful, and it just broke a lot of the rendering in the game, and the fog effect is completely different. So here it's really nice that we're playing on the PS2 version, which is the best, most authentic version. But what we're doing specifically, and why I might be, why I'm making a video for it, because you're like, what the fuck? You've never talked about Silent Hill in your life. Well, I basically have enabled texture dumping through PCSX2, and it will dump the textures as you walk around, right? This is the road I came in on. There's no point in going back. Well, okay, James. Relax. And it will dump the textures into a PNG file, and then I can upscale them and throw them back in the game. I believe there's already been like whole texture packs and whatnot, so this is more me goofing around. But right now we're dumping these textures, and there's just something so fascinating about this game. I love the story, and the gameplay has always been a little janky, but even, setting that aside, I think the story is so fucking cool, and I can't stop watching footage of the remake, as it's obviously very different in some ways, but it's fascinating how they adapted it, and they also did it with such love and care. I think that really shows. So what I'm dumping the textures here, I didn't want to go down too far. I did run up from there. So a fun thing about the dumping of textures for Silent Hill 2 specifically, but this happens when I've dumped textures for, I think, the latest Kingsfield 4, since that was on PS2. I upscale textures in there as well. And the funny thing is it dumps everything. And that becomes kind of a problem, right? Because it will dump literally everything. And so what it's actually doing, because the fog here is actually like an alpha texture. And what was really interesting is that because the PS2 had such a ridiculous fill rate, is that they could basically use that overhead and render all of the fog alpha effects. And that's why the fog is kind of fucked up on a lot of the other ports and versions. But specifically, so now the graininess filter does make it hard to see texture upgrades a little bit. I do think it's very key to the aesthetic though. You can even see like the little shadow that they like baked in here. Not even through a light map. I think this is quite literally just painted onto the texture itself. But look at the car texture, because we're going to upscale this and then we're going to do some comparisons. And it's not going to be easy. So let me take a screenshot of this. And then I'm going to show you the actual dump folder, because it's very, very cool. Okay, so let's save. The other really cool thing you can do in RPCSX too. I was going to say RPCS, thinking of PS3 emulation. So basically, you can exit, and then you can save the state that you're in. So you don't even need to boot up the whole game. it will actually save that state for you. And so if you go to your documents folder, you'll see there's a folder called PCSX2. And you'll see this is where the actual games are stored. We have the textures are stored here. And this is the actual, I was going to say model name, but the indicator for the game. We have, and in the textures, we have dumps and replacements. So naturally, once you're done upscaling, you throw them in the replacements, which I already have some. I did the bathroom. And also here you can see, this is how they actually show up. And you can see James' face there, which is great. And let me get rid of this one. I don't need to upscale that. But if we go to the dumps, you're going to see most of them are the fog effects. I wish there was a way to not have it capture that. That would be delightful. But as you can tell, it just captures all of it. And so you essentially have to go through, and what you could do is either delete all of them, or probably the smarter route is you surf through them and, well, actually, I just thought of an idea. So let's sort by, we're gonna be smart here. Yeah. So if you sort by size, basically, you can grab all the real ones are here, and the rest. Okay, well, I just figured that out for myself. Last night I went through and I took like 5 minutes deleting all the fog, but I literally just figured it out. To upscale, because basically I'm going to grab them into a folder and just grab the. Now you might still be missing some, but I doubt it because those are all the same exact file size. So I'm going to assume. So let's paste those. Now we can go woohoo, and it's gonna freak out for a second because there's like a ridiculous amount. Oh my god, 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000, 12,000. It captured 17,000 instances of the specific fog alpha texture. Jesus Christ. So that's kind of the annoying thing of like dumping textures for this game. I might just need to figure out if I can just get to the textures themselves through the actual files, as I've never fully looked into PS2 related mod tools. I assume there would be programs to crack open most files. Repacking them might be the question there. Okay, so now we have our DDS. Oh my god, we even have the Konami logo. You love to see it. Okay, well, I can't even see what that is. Okay, we got James' face again. Oh, but see, this time we have the Silent Hill 2 logo. That's kind of sick. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think we want to upscale the text. Oh, look at this. We have this is the background image. So basically, what the hell is that? Some of these you have to watch. Oh, here we go. Load, new game. Okay, I mean, fuck, we'll upscale it. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Oh, that's grass. Okay, well, just for funsies. Just for funsies, we're going to load up. We have Photo AI. And we're going to just copy. Or no, not copy. We drag. Basically, you drag it into Photo AI because I'm curious. How good of a job? Wow, it actually does a really good job on the text, to be honest with you. Whew. Wow, that is nice. Okay, so let's go look at this landscape shot. What can we do here? Ooh. Not much, because it's pretty low resolution as is. So I'd actually say some of these will require different upscaling. I will say, from the textures I've seen thus far, a lot of them are 512 by 512. Oh, God. Oh, these are his clothes. Interesting. Wow, I don't know where that grainy part is. Okay, that kind of worked. Because there's different model. Oh, these are his hands. I don't know what the weird crusty part is. And you can even see like a little seam there. That must be like how it's oriented in game, I guess. Yeah, normally I would go through and you kind of check out each one to make sure, because there's different models. By default, it does the standard V2 model, which goes very hard on fixing compression. Too hard, frankly. And it will just, yeah, let me select all. And then basically you turn off a lot of turn the filters down to minimum so they do as little work as possible. They're still doing something. But you basically just don't want them going overboard. Shit. Okay, so that undoes it. But you do get a pretty nice detail boost to most of them. I think there's duplicate textures here. Oh, they may have been using ones that were slightly different. Okay, let's look at James' face. You can see it does clean it up a little bit. We got his little nostrils there. Oh my god. I don't know what the fuck that is. Is that some sort of spec map? Or some kind of map? I don't know. Yeah, PS2 textures, I am not perfectly... Oh, here's the car. Oh, sick. It does a pretty good job with that license plate. 000THZ. It actually gets the THZ really well. Let's see if we get some added rust. Nice. And this is with the filters like at their minimum, so they're still doing the upscaling work, which honestly it's doing a really, really great job capturing some extra detail. I will leave a link in the description if you want to buy Photo AI. They also have Gigapixel AI. Both are good. Photo AI gives you a little bit more options. I would make a small percentage from that if you click on that link, but I can personally say I use Photo AI all the time, and I've been using it for years. So I can personally say that like I vouch for it because I've had a great experience and the different flexibility with the upscaling, and it's produced all of the results I've had for all my upscales. So I feel like that's a pretty good, I definitely never want to recommend a product I have not used personally. If I ever get like sponsors in the future, I no doubt would prefer, well, not prefer, I will only do it if I know the product. Yeah, these trees, not a lot you can fix on those. So normally, if I took more time, I would have not upscaled those. I don't know what's going on with these textures. So these are probably ones you're not going to want to upscale either, because these are all like foliage things. Now, of course, the nice thing is, yeah, this is another one I don't want to upscale. As with any wide sweeping dumping of textures, you're going to get a lot of textures you shouldn't upscale. Is really, I'm here for the albedo textures and not for some of these alpha ones, because the upscaler, really you should be using other upscaler. Yeah, there's other models you can use to try to get some detail out of them. But frankly, it's because it's going overboard. So what we're going to do is select all of them, and we're going to use standard, put all the filters to the lowest, and we're just going to upscale every texture, which is 65 images. So let's run that real quick. It's not going to take long. This will show you actually a good example of, and this is on an RTX 2060, 12 gigabytes. So the more VRAM you have, obviously the better it is for any sort of AI upscaling workload. They love VRAM, but and obviously your processor is going to play a part in this. But as you can tell, it's pretty quick upscaling from 512 by 512 to 1024 by 1024. You can also do 4x upscales. You can do more than that. I'm very conservative, and I do 2x upscales for pretty much any upscaling project because that's the best bang for your buck without fundamentally altering the texture too much, in my opinion. And so that's my preference. But as you can see, it's pretty quick. Now, when it's upscaling like from 1K to 2K or 2K to 4K, that's going to take longer, of course. And then the saving process is a little bit longer. But what I really like about the dumping and overwriting textures on PCIe SX2 is you just dump the PNG files in that other folder. You don't have to do anything with it because they all have their identification numbers. And so the emulator knows what to do with those in the game. And I've always thought that was just really, really fucking cool. that I didn't need to convert them all over to DDS or a specific arcane format for the game, whatever it was using. And so it's kind of nice that I can just save them as PNG. And that is it. So basically, yeah, we copy them from the upscale folder here. We put them into the replacement folder, which I have my other ones that I had done previously. Oh, actually, there are ones I ended up doing twice. So there must have been some textures that were outside the bathroom that match the bathroom. So now we basically have even more textures. And this is kind of how I would do it if I were to make it through the whole game, is you basically just dump textures, dump textures, dump textures, and then get rid of the fog textures, upscale them, and then you'll probably you're going to overwrite textures as you do it. Because there's going to be duplicates that are dumped again. This reminds me of when I was dumping Dark Souls 2 textures using the lighting engine mod, right? That reminds me a lot of that, because that's you're dumping a lot of textures you don't want. And at least here it's more simplistic, because you can even have these like dump the bitmaps and as their own separate PNGs, and that's the whole thing. I don't want those. So anyway, so now we have upscaled textures for the specific area that we were in. And we are still recording. Like to check that occasionally. And then we can launch PCSX2. Okay. And so here's the actual app itself. And you can see I have Silent Hill 2 right here. And it's currently up to 3.7 gigabytes. And it even gives you a compatibility rating, which is very nice. Let me make this a little smaller, because we don't need the whole screen size here. And under the settings for the game, you can go to properties. And the nice thing is there's interface related things in terms of emulation. I think this is where you can get into like, sets the VSync queue to 0. Oh, I hadn't seen that. I won't worry about that. Currently, I've been just, there's patches for the game you can check here. There's 60 FPS and widescreen. I do want to try the game in the normal aspect ratio, like 4:3 aspect ratio. The graphics settings, of course, the one that I'm most interested in. So you can set your aspect ratio, de-interlacing, and the nice thing is you hover over them, and they actually give you all of these details about each setting, so you don't have to like Google like what the fuck does this setting do. And so there's anti-blur, there's integer scaling, and then you can basically go into rendering. This is where you set what resolution you want the game to run at. And what I really like here is it's actually rendering it at a higher resolution. I think RPCS3 is still basically just using Fidelity FX to upscale to whatever resolution you pick, but here it's quite literally the internal resolution itself is being raised, which is a huge benefit to PS2 emulation over PS3 emulation. So anisotropic filtering you can force, trilinear filtering. And the nice thing is when you boot the game up, it'll actually tell you, hey, by the way, for this game, we actually kind of prefer you have this. This can cause issues because you don't have this, which I thought was really cool. Highest dithering effect. Treats all draws as if they were 32-bit to avoid banding and dithering. Yeah. And improves perceived color depth. So I kind of started with 32-bit and it seemed fine to me, but yeah, I'll have to definitely check. So here's where you do the textures. So you turn off dump textures, you turn on load textures, and then asynchronous texture loading. So you don't need to pre-cache them. But if you want, you can select pre-caching. They also have just a really nice thing here where you can turn on contrast adaptive sharpening if you want. You can even do a little TV shader, so you don't even have to like do the reshade work here. I do have it set to Vulkan, but you can actually, there's even a DirectX 11 or DirectX 12 mode for PCSX2, which is fucking weird. That's cool. Shade boost. Oh, look at this. Enables saturation, contrast, and brightness to be adjusted. Whoa, that's cool. Oh, there's even super sampling? What the fuck? What the hell is that? Oh, some of these are CRT, but some are like weird downsampling. Oh, to maybe make it look like a CRT? Interesting. Anyway, so load textures, asynchronous, good stuff. Booyah. And now if we load back in the game, so that what I like is it asks you, it says, hey man, we know there's a state for this. Do you just want to load the state? So you can hit load state, and it will literally load you right back into the game, which is so cool. That's so sick. That saves you so much time. So we're going to take a screenshot here. It also makes it easier for screenshots because you can literally just go yoink, and then you take a screenshot. I automatically have it mapped to my Xbox controller. Literally all I had to do was say, I would like my Xbox controller to be a DualShock 2. And that's it. Yeah, I can see the car is higher resolution, for sure. That still looks pretty bad. The road looks pretty bad. Let's see. Yeah, the trees got fucked up. I knew that would happen, so that's an easy fix. The trees and even the distance thing, I would need to basically treat it with more care and go through each one and use a different model for the textures I'm upscaling, because clearly some of these textures, just the model I was using was too aggressive. But this is more so just to show how you can do it. Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is you can tell the texture overriding is working. We'll go in the bathroom because you'll see some upscaled textures in there too. But yeah, oof. The tree ones. The nice thing is, like, when you see a texture that's fucked up, you can literally just go in the folder and go yoink, delete, and then the next time you launch it, it won't boot that one anymore. Let's see if we can get close to James, because I think I upscaled his actual... yeah, his hair got fucked up, so I do have to delete that, or at least look into that. It might be the way that it's saved or something. I think it even upscaled the fence texture, which is like slightly an alpha texture. It's kind of going through James a little bit. But yeah, you can even see the texture on the building is upscaled a little bit. So it's like just a little sharper, and the graininess works really well for Silent Hill, I think. But yeah, let me know if you'd want like a stream of the original Silent Hill 2 authentically played on the PS2. Through an emulator, admittedly. They still have little load screens, which is nice that the remake got rid of the load screens. I think that's a pretty solid addition. Oh, I had a close. Yeah, so here you can see the extra graininess on the wall. I do have a comparison image I'll show you. Look at this, ray traced reflections on the PS2. No, it's essentially, as far as I'm aware, it's just like a render to texture thing. So it renders it right on that texture. And so that's how you get, but that's kind of the funny thing is it's not perfect, but the effect is fucking fantastic. Because you can even apply like the things that are on the mirror. So it looks like it's not just a perfect reflection, but I mean, it is essentially. But yeah, I think that's the issue. You can see here the character is in the mirror when he should not be in the mirror, at least from this point of view. Perspective is kind of where, if you do actual ray tracing and not just render it to a texture. But small things. I think at the time, like, oh my god, like obviously I'm a hoe for like planar reflections and alternate reflection setups than just screen space reflections. Yeah, the floor. I don't know what the fuck is going on the floor here. But yeah, so slightly upscaled, kind of cool. Also, it was an excuse to talk about Silent Hill 2 because I have been blown away by the remake. I've not been playing it, but I plan to, because I'm not even a survival horror person at all. I'm not, but there's something about Silent Hill 2 I can't get out of my brain. There's especially once I figured out the story and you get through it, and at first because you just think it's like this kind of janky ass fucking game, and the more I was watching Max play it, oh yeah, the Toluca Lake sign looks way better. Oh yeah, I think the van too, yeah, it's pretty good. The foliage texture is really bad, gotta undo that, but that's normal with any upscaling project. There's always some you shouldn't upscale, or at least relook at. Yeah, the foliage textures is rough, the way it's handling them, but the fog is so sick. But yeah, the really heartbreaking story and the endings, and then the remake added a couple more endings that were absolutely just gorgeous and so heartbreaking. And I don't know, to me it shows that like I'm not even the biggest Silent Hill fan, so maybe they would disagree, but I don't know, the endings that they added, no spoilers obviously, I thought were just so in tune with the character and the story. And I don't know, it just showed that like Bluebird fucking loves this game, and really like wanted to do it right. And yeah, I kind of want to play the game and experience it myself, because I've only watched it, and the fact that it could impact me that much just by watching it, you know, I think, I don't know, experiencing it would obviously be something completely different if I used headphones. Problem is I get headaches wearing headphones, so I think if I do like little earbud ones, that might work better. Yeah, these textures are also a little higher resolution. You can basically tell anywhere where I've dumped textures is where the bad foliage textures are. If I fix those, yeah, I didn't go over here. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. I've admittedly had a little bit of like modding video creation block with like Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne, and this is kind of my therapy session. I just haven't been making as many videos because I'm like, oh, but I don't think I can show a good like comparison, and is it really interesting enough that people would want to watch it? And I know the answer is always yes, that maybe some people won't, but most people will, and that's like what my entire channel is based on, is things that I thought people wouldn't watch, but they do. So I should just, when in doubt, make the video, and you know, it would be interesting. So I've just basically been overthinking it. Most of the work's been on Dark Souls 1, so I do want to make a video on that. I've been adding a bunch of parallax occlusion mapping to Dark Souls Remastered. Bloodborne, I haven't been doing a whole lot of work on because I'm kind of waiting for the emulator to be updated to fix some of the issues, to make it a little easier to mod, more or less, and get it a little bit more settled. And then I've also been thinking, like, should I be streaming just on Twitch? Let me know in the comments on any of these questions if I should just be streaming on Twitch, and then basically when I have a day that I'm not making a video, I could then post the VOD from said stream on the YouTube channel. So that way if people on YouTube want to watch it, they could. If they don't, they don't. And that way it's a little bit more work for me, but I kind of like the idea that on a day that I posted a video, I could still stream on Twitch, because that's like separate to me. And if I have to go live on YouTube at the same time, then I feel like I can't do both. Oh, the music of this game. Let's watch this and then I'll end the video.
Excuse me,
I'm sorry.
I probably should be playing this at 4:3 aspect ratio.
okay.
Don't hate me.
I didn't mean to scare you. I'm kind of lost.
Lost?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking for Silent Hill. Is this the right way?
Yeah. It's hard to see with this fog, but there's only the one road. You can't miss it.
Thanks.
But
Thank you.
Yes?
You're very helpful.
I think you'd better stay away.
I would agree.
This town, there's something wrong with it. It's kind of hard to explain, but
Is it dangerous?
maybe.
Yes.
And it's not just the fog either.
Okay,
It's...
I got it. I'll be careful.
He
I'm
goes,
not
yes,
lying."
stop yapping.
No.
Come on, James. 2024.
Just... I guess I really don't care if it's dangerous or not. I'm going to town either way.
But why?
God, the music.
I'm looking for someone.
Look at the character model. It's actually pretty good, though.
Who is it?
For PS2, like,
Someone
this is a good character model.
very
And rendering at
important.
higher resolution, you can really tell.
I'd do anything if I could be with her again.
Me too. I'm looking for my mama. I mean my mother. It's been so long since I've seen her.
Man, the grass looks really
I thought
terrible.
my father and brother were here, but I can't find them either.
Oh,
sorry.
it's floating.
It's
Interesting.
not your
No,
problem.
It's a perspective
I
issue.
hope you find them.
Yeah, you too.
Man, the music in this game, unbelievable. And the remake, it's crazy how like accurate it is. Yeah, you can actually see the little grass textures actually floating, because you can't independently control the camera. It kind of just rotates the whole ass thing, and you're rotating James as well, but it is actually floating. Interesting. So this one is not fucked up. But then, oh, you'll see that this is where the texture gets fucked up, because it didn't dump this one over here. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, thank you for watching James run around and be very confused at where he's going. And it allowed me to randomly yap around Silent Hill 2. And something I haven't really talked about on Twitter or anywhere is that I just love the game despite not playing it and only watching someone play it. And I'm watching like 3 of the remake playthroughs, and I'm loving it. So let me know in the comments if you've played the remake, have you played the original, do you plan to play the remake? If you've played the original, do you want to play both? Should I play it on stream? Should I stream only on Twitch? Should I post the VOD on YouTube when I have a day that I'm not making a video? Should I keep them separate? Is that cool? Would that be great? Is that cash money? I should do a Q&A video soon, so if you have a question for a Q&A, also put that in the comments. Put everything in the comments, basically. How are you doing? What did you have for breakfast? What are you going to have for dinner? What about lunch? What about second lunch? Anyway, thank you for watching the video. I will see you on the next one. I do want to stream more Dark Souls 2 Bearer of the Curse mod, because it should be coming out Friday-ish is what Yozora said. So don't quote me on that, but it should. But anyway, see you until next time. Thank you for watching.